We have come a long way, and I wouldn't want to sort of disrespect how much ground we've covered in the last 10 years since the economic meltdown. Looking forward, since we're kind of late into the cycle, you would expect to see things slow down a little bit. One thing that could help that would be the tax plan that's currently being discussed in Washington right now. I think if it were to pass in its current form, it would be supportive for the economy and the markets, and 2018 could be a better year than what we expect it to be right now.
Well, the Arizona economy should continue to improve. It's just more or less going to be more of the same. You could get a little increase in growth depending on the extent of the tax cuts and the extent of the infrastructure spending that Trump has been promising. It's difficult to determine now exactly how that's going to play out given the weakness in policy that's gone on so far with the Republican Party. But assuming you get a corporate tax cut, and you get some tax reform, and you get some infrastructure spending, there's reason to believe the economy will continue to grow, perhaps a little more rapidly next year than this year.
And I think in 2018, it does look like we are poised for more growth. It does seem like trade is expanding, like industries are starting to grow again and heal. That said, there's also a lot changing right now geopolitically, and I think that could potentially affect how different countries' economies grow.
So the biggest influence on the economy in 2018, I think, is a holdover from where we've been in the last couple of years, and that is the integration of technology in the workforce, in business communications, in almost every aspect of our lives.
The tax cuts will be a temporary kick. It is very late in the cycle to have these types of tax cuts, but there's still enough potential economy relative to actual economic activity to suggest that it'll work at this stage of the cycle.
Geopolitics is going to have the biggest influence on the economy this year. If you look at what's going on in Europe, particularly with Brexit happening, also Germany and Greece, there's just a lot happening that could potentially have an enormous effect on the economy globally.
The one thing that bothers me more than anything right now would be the potential, it hasn't happened yet, that we see inflation and higher interest rates come down the road here.
This recovery is now the third oldest in American history, and it's more than 9 years old. The chances of getting through Trump's term without a recession, that would be unusual. The longest recovery in U.S. history is 120 months. We're at 91 months. So 2 years from now, you better be looking over your shoulder. But overall, the economy right now looks pretty positive.
If I were a business owner, the thing that would concern me most would be the kind of growing protectionism that we're seeing around the world. We're seeing it all over the place, here also. And I think that can be very difficult if you're a business owner, particularly if you're a business owner who engages in some kind of overseas trade.
So best potential for economic growth going forward, I mean, there are a couple of things that come to mind. Healthcare is one of them. The baby boom group is aging and will put a tremendous amount of stress and strain on the healthcare system.
What's been growing is professional and business services, leisure and hospitality, education and health services. Those will continue, and financial activities. Those four things will continue to be the mainstay of economic growth, both nationally and certainly in Arizona.
I think I see the best potential for growth still in rural America. I'm from rural America, I'm from Idaho. I think that area economically has been struggling for a long time to find its footing after a lot of industry has changed and manufacturing has left. And I feel like there's a lot of potential there in the people who are there, in the industries who are there, and that is where I see the most potential in our country for growth.